Okay, today we are going to do part 2 of our M&M experiment that we began in the previous class session. We're going to take all the numbers that we gathered out of the bags of M&Ms that everybody did individually, and we'll see how they all combine together, and we'll answer a few questions about our bags of M&Ms. If you look at this help page will be posted on Google Classroom, and if you're looking at the instructions that are written on there, it looks like an awful lot of work. But try not to let that scare you. In fact, if you don't really want to work off of that instruction sheet, you wouldn't have to. Watch what I'm going to show you here in this movie, and that might be a little bit more helpful. So I'm going to hop up here to where I can show you what the sheet, you'll have this sheet on Google Classroom when it's time to do this assignment, and it will make a copy for you when you open it up. And so what you're looking at right now is the first hour, period 1 copy, starting up here with Alyssa Beal and working its way all the way down to Bridget Watt. And everybody's name who was present and able to do the experiment is on there. If somebody was absent, they're not going to be on there. And they'll get their bag of M&Ms later. 7th hour looks slightly different, but really it's the same thing. And what I've done is taken all your actual number of M&Ms that you had in your bag, and on 7th hour it starts with Michaela Anderson and it goes all the way down to Nolan Wood. And everybody who was present and did the experiment, your number of M&Ms is on that sheet right there. Now, for the rest of this movie, I'm going to use period 1 over here as the demonstration model, but if you're in period 7, yours will slightly different. When you're doing some of the formulas, you'll have to pay attention to some of the row numbers and things like that, but I'm going to use period 1 as my example. So several jobs to do on this. Here we go. Here's the first job. Like I'm looking at Alyssa Beal's bag of M&Ms, and here's all the numbers. Red, green, blue, orange, yellow, brown. All right, well, the first thing let's find out how many M&Ms did Alyssa get in her bag. So I'm just going to click and drag across on those numbers to get those selected. I'll come up here to this little E thing up here for functions or formulas, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to drop that down, and all we're going to do is add these up, so it's just going to be a sum formula. So I'll go ahead and click that. It looks on the sheet like it's going to be in the wrong place, but don't worry, it won't. I'm going to go ahead and press enter, and it's showing me here that Alyssa had 56 in her bag, and it's also giving me that option, which we like in most cases, where it says, do you want to auto-fill this down for everybody? Sure. So I'll go ahead and click that check mark, and then all of those calculations were done, and we can see how many each person got in their bag of M&Ms. A couple of unusual things here. Devontae got 60. That's not very common at all. You don't very often get 60 M&Ms in a bag. Weston up here, poor guy. Weston only got 52. Wow. And, there's some 53s in there as well. But one of the questions we kind of asked about these bags of M&Ms was, if you buy a bag of M&Ms, do you always get the same number? Well, answer is no. It's not always the same number. Look at these results. But is it kind of close? Yeah, I'd say so. It's in the 50s for sure, right? I mean, unless you get a real unusual bag like Devontae. He had 60. But look at all those. Those are all falling in the 50s. And that's a pretty typical pattern for a bunch of bags of M&Ms. All right, our next calculation is going to be down here. I'm going to cell B35 where it says color total right here. And here's what I want to do. I want to make the computer add up all the red M&Ms. All right. Well, I'm going to come up here and click where Alyssa is. I'll click on Alyssa's red M&Ms and just drag down, and that come down to Bridget's, and I'll let go there. And so I just want the computer to add those up. All right. Well, that's just a sum formula, so I'm going to come up here to where we have our formulas or functions. I'll drop this down. We're just going to add them up. So I'll just do the sum. And again, it kind of looks like it's going to put the answer in the wrong place, but don't worry, I don't think it'll really do that. If I press the enter key, it puts 195 in there for the number of red M&Ms. Now be careful with this. It's saying, do you want me to fill this down into these other things where it says average, lowest, highest, and range? No, we do not. We do not want that. So I'm going to hit the X there. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to click that X. All right, now we want to take this right here. It's at cell B, and on the first hour sheet, it's at B35, where it says 195. And I'm going to grab that duplication handle, that little blue box that's in the bottom right corner of the cell, and I'm just going to pull it across and drag it over, and boom. All right, so now we have our formula that is calculating, how many blue and how many yellow and how many brown and how many in total. Now we can answer the question if anybody says, well, which color had the most? Well, it's right here. It's orange. 397 orange. Not by a lot, though. Blue had 389. But certainly blue and orange were the most common colors, because look at the others. None of the others even made it over 200 in our first hour experiment. Seventh hour, your numbers will look a little bit different, probably, but probably pretty similar, though. I'm guessing. All right, let's go on to our next formula that we're going to do here, and we're going to have to write this one ourselves. We're just going to have to plug it in there and type it away, but it's not that hard. I'll show you what to do. All right, so we're going to calculate an average, and this is going to be for the average number of red M&Ms. We'll just start with red. So I'm going to go equals. All formulas start with equals, and oh my goodness, look at what Google Sheets has done. Because I just a moment ago calculated a sum using all those red M&Ms, Google Sheets has kind of figured out that maybe he wants to calculate an average of everything from B8 to B34. Well, guess what? Google Sheets is right. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that, and it did it. Now, here's one problem with this. If I look at the way it's showing it right now, it just looks like it says 222222222, and that can't be right. That's not the average number of red M&Ms. So here's what's going on there. We got a real long decimal in that cell. So I'm going to have to come up here to this little button on the toolbar that says decrease decimal places. And I'm just going to kind of go click, 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 click. And you can take that down as far as you want. You could even keep clicking until you get rid of all the decimal points in the number. But I'm going to stop right here. I did a series of clicks, taking off the decimal places until I got it down to where I've got 2 decimal places. So that looks okay to me. All right, I'm going to click right there on that cell that says 7.22. That's my average number of red M&Ms. Grab the duplication handle, drag across, and bingo. Now one of the answers that we have here is, so like how many M&Ms do you usually get if you buy a bag of M&Ms? Well, if you round that up right there, it's be 56, right? So, you can pretty well guess it's going to be close to 55. In this case, if we round up, it would be 56. All right, now our next calculation that we're going to make, it's not really a calculation, but we're going to tell the computer to go look at all the red M&Ms and find the lowest number on the list. Now we can find it easily ourselves. I think it is right here. I think Jackson Hayes had 2, and I think that's the lowest number on that list. It's not really too hard to find the lowest number. But that is not how I want you to do it. I want to make the computer do it. That's what I want you to see, is you make the computer do the job for you. So here's how we're going to do it. It's like a calculation, so you're going to start with an equal sign. And then there's this thing that's a function or a formula, whichever you want to call it, called MIN. It means minimum. All right, so it's just going to go find the smallest number in that list of numbers. Now, we're going to start a set of parentheses, Shift 9, and we have to tell it where to look. Well, okay, I want it to look at all the red M&Ms. So the red M&Ms start up there with Alyssa Beal, and that starts at cell B8. The first one is at B8. Now I'm going to have to put in that punctuation mark. It's a colon, shift, and use the key next to the letter L. So it's a colon. And then where do the red M&Ms end? Let's see. That's Bridget's red M&Ms. So that's in B34. So I'll just type that in there, B34. Now I want to close my parentheses. All right, so that's what that little formula or function looks like. Equals min parenthesis B8 colon B34. I'm going to press enter, and it found it, right? I was right about it being a 2. All right, so it found the smallest number of reds. So I'm going to click right there where you see that 2, and I'll grab the duplication handle, and I'm going to pull over, and bingo. We've got all of our lowest numbers right here. The lowest number of orange was 10. Lowest number of brown was 3. You can see them right there. Now this one's really similar. Instead of being min, M-I-N, we're going to tell the computer to go find the biggest number. Well, all right, bet you can guess. Equals max. All right, M-A-X equals max. Start a set of parentheses. We're going to look up there. Where are Alyssa's red M&Ms? B8. Put a colon in there. And where were Bridget's red M&Ms? B34. Remember, if you're in 7th hour, your numbers might be slightly different. Your names and numbers will be different. But if you just pay attention and just look at how this is done, I think you can do it. Close the parentheses, press the enter key, and the largest number of red M&Ms was 13, and I think that was Bridget. All right, so if I click right there where it says 13 and I grab the duplication handle and pull over, there we go. And again, this is telling me over here that, who did we say that was? That was Devontae that had the 60 M&Ms in his bag. That's not very common. All right, now all we're going to do here on the range is that we're going to subtract highest minus lowest. What's the difference between the highest number and the lowest number? Now again, it's easy math, but don't do it just in your head and just type the number. All right, you're going to lose points if you do that, I'm telling you. So we want to make the computer do it. So the problem that we're going to work here is 13 minus 2, but that's not how we're going to type it. All right, so I'm going to say equals, and I'm going to look right here, that 13. What cell is that in? It looks like it's in B38. So I'm just going to type that in, B38, and we're going to subtract, and we're going to subtract 2, which would be in B37. So my little formula that I'm writing says equals B38 minus B37. I'll press the enter key. That calculation is made, and I will duplicate that over all the way. And so all of those differences are being calculated now. The only other thing you have to do to wrap this assignment up, now all of the calculations are made, right? We did all of these sums over here. We did totals here. That's a sum. We did averages here, min for the smallest number there, max for the highest number, and then we did some subtraction to figure out the difference between the highest and the lowest right there, a little subtraction work. Okay, now all you have to do here the rest of the way is throw in some formatting, right? I'm gonna put in some, I'm gonna color some areas the way that I would like to have them colored, like that. I think I might take this part down here and do like that, and then in here I'm gonna use some fill and maybe put in something like that. So I'm using some gray and green together, just kind of like the way that looks. But exactly how you format yours is up to you. You could certainly come along here and change a font if you feel like you want to change a font. You can format it however you would like. But I do want you to change the way this whole collection looks. I might even take all of these names and align them to the right instead of to the left and make that look a little bit different. All right, so that's where it's kind of up to you. You can do that however you feel the best about it. But now this is all done, right? All the calculations are made. All of those totals, color totals, averages, lowest, highest, range. It is formatted. We are finished. Off you go.